Heavenly Father, we come before you today in all humility and we ask for your grace to lead us in all good things. We could have been born anywhere, Father God, but you chose to put us as a part of the Caddo Nation. And we thank you for that. We thank you for the ones who've gone before us and for the ones who will come after, Father. We ask you to help us to be good leaders, good citizens, and faithful and true in what we do, Father, for our tribe. We ask you to bless those who can't be here today. If they're sick, Father, we ask for your healing touch. If they just couldn't make it, Father, we just ask you to provide for them in every way that you know how, Father, what is best for each and every person represented here today. We ask for your strength and your guidance. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Appreciate the prayer. Thank you, Kay. So last, I don't know if anyone remembers, but I really appreciate everyone being here today and also appreciate everyone being online. And we also want to think about those that are not with us and those that are no longer here with us today. Before we get started, I wanted to let everyone know that last time we was rudely interrupted by a hacker. And so we didn't get to approve the minutes, I believe. So if we have copies of those, Jennifer, are those out there? I think the hard copies are on the table back there as well. Did everyone receive a copy? It's on the table. If everyone could take a moment to look at the membership meeting uh, minutes for October 28th, 2023. Those are the minutes that we were going to pass when we were interrupted. Okay, so everyone has had a chance to look at the minutes, and I'm going to ask for a motion on the floor online. Mike Meeks made the motion. Do I hear a second? Does Michaela Meeks made a second that to approve the minutes of October 28th, 2023. So those that are online, if you can raise your hand in your chat box, and everyone here can raise your hand. Yes, no. Jennifer, have to count your hands. How many do we have online? We have 12 online. And how many here? 12 total. Is there any one abstain? We have one abstain, two abstain, three, four. Okay, five abstain. Any no's? No no's. Going once, going twice, going three. Jennifer, where we're at? There's two yeses. Did everybody hear that? Okay, so the motion's passed to approve the minutes of October 28th, 2023. Thank you. Everyone just got real quiet when you walked into the door. So we're going to go ahead and get started if everyone can hear me. I don't know. I'm kind of short, so you guys just have to bear with me. Can you hear me? Can they hear me online? Okay. Can you hear me, Eric? Okay. Well, good. So I really want to thank everyone for being here, and I just have some opening remarks where we're at right now and where we're headed as a tribe. And I hope everyone can catch with what I'm saying. I'm going to talk about a couple of things, and there's some subjects that I'm also going to discuss just briefly. Okay. So I just returned from the White House Summit last month, and I was invited to the White House Summit by President Biden, along with all the leaders, tribal leaders in the United States. And that was a very, 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 very good meeting with the president. One of the things that the president of the United States discussed is that there's been more dollars in Indian country during this administration than the history of any administration when it comes to funding for tribes. And historically, that's a fact. And the other thing that he discussed was their assurance to continue to streamline the process so we can go after more dollars where you have less red tape. And he signed an executive order in front of all the tribal leaders there to streamline the process so that agencies and tribes can work together, grants and funding sources can work better, more efficient, and cut down all the time and receive the dollars that we need in Indian country. I'll give you an example. During the White House Summit, he also mentioned last year, I also was able to attend the White House Summit then. The Caddo Nation was there was a very first tribe out of all the tribes in the United States to sign a petition. I signed that as a chairman of the Caddo Nation in Washington, D.C., with the National Congress of American Indian, and we asked for $8.8 billion for funding for IHS. During this White House Summit last month, he mentioned that although we didn't get $8.8 billion, we did get $5.5 billion, which was the biggest increase in Indian Health Service in the history of IHS. So that's really, really great to know that, we have those dollars there, and all the other tribes participated in making sure that we had those dollars for IHS. And, that's 579 federally recognized tribes across the United States in 12 different regions. And so we're really, really excited about that. The other thing the reason I was there also was to meet with all the heads of the president of the United States as far as secretaries. And I wanted to personally thank them for the dollars and the grants and the awards that the Caddo Nation has received to date, because people are behind those dollars. So I had an opportunity to meet with the Department of Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs, to make sure that government to government relation continues. We thanked them for the money and the dollars on behalf of the tribal council, on behalf of the tribe and its members, of the dollars that we received, and all the different grants, all the way from social service to Indian child welfare money to job placement and training money to housing to HUD and even transportation. You name it, they were all there. One of the reasons that I made an attempt to make sure that we do that and having the council's blessing to do that is because they need to know also how these dollars are impacting our community and what our needs are. And I was able to talk to a lot of different folks, including the White House Native American Affairs Division and their staff, Office of Indian Energy, the Department of Energy, the Secretary of Transportation. Some of you may know him, Pete Buttigieg. I actually got to meet him personally, and I thanked him for the dollars that we received from federal highways, which I have that as far as new business on here. So just kind of mention that later. The main thing was going around to every agency and every secretary appointed by the president of the United States and his caucus, and really letting them know how these dollars have affected our community. I also had the opportunity to meet with the Treasurer of the United States that is printed on your money. And she's the first Native American treasurer appointed by the President of the United States. And she was the chief of her own tribe. And one of the things we talked about is the American Rescue Plan dollars that we all went after as communities, tribes, and municipalities and states and cities. And I let her know what we were doing and how we were doing and why we were doing the things we are with the dollars that we received. And the reason that's important is because Congress wants to know what we're doing, how we're utilizing those dollars, and it's important for them to know. And we talked about every regulation related to those dollars and how we were doing things in a regulatory way with the spend of those dollars. And one of the things that she said, and this is the Treasurer of the United States, she said, "You're doing the right thing. You have to remember that people died across the world during this pandemic. And you have to remember that you as Native people suffered tremendously in Indian country during the pandemic. And it's the right thing to do to make sure that you remember that." And that really stuck with me. And I also had an opportunity to meet with the ambassador of trade for the United States to talk to them about how we can do better in economics related to trade and work economically with the United States government, because we have a lot of people that are farmers, a lot of Caddos that are farmers. They grow crops. How do we get those crops to market, like USDA? So we're talking about poultry, we're talking about food, we're talking about commodities, we're talking about our people. How do they sustain themselves? How do they make a living? We as a tribe, and I wrote this down today, the tribal membership is over 7,244. And I put on the agenda just to have a dialogue about that because it's pretty incredible in itself. And right now we're the largest tribe next to the Kiowa and Comanche, and 4 times bigger than most of the other small tribes. And we're continuing to grow. And I think there's a reason for that. And so we're going to continue to have to grow our programs. Right now, we have over 104 employees. We went from around 28 to 34 employees 2.5 years ago to 104 employees full time, with over 1/3 of those employees being enrolled in the Caddo Nation or descendant of. The Caddo Nation is one of the biggest economy drivers forces here in the community in the southwest part of Oklahoma at the moment. And I'm very proud of the council that they continue to advocate, and we continue to look for those dollars. We continue to hire our people. We want to build the tribe because this is each and every one of us feel that we're all in this together. So everyone in your seat, we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we can move our tribe ahead. With that said, one of the things that I plan on doing in the council and myself is we're going to be looking at having community membership listening sessions to talk about a strategic plan for 2024 and how we're going to move our tribe forward. So I'm going to pause here in a little bit, but it's so important that you must know that this tribe will fail without a plan. Administratively, we've reorganized our programs to better provide services, to streamline the process. We've been working with the federal agency in identifying all our resources in land, water, oil, gas, minerals. We have more land than you could possibly realize. We've identified over 1,000 acres of land that's owned by the tribe that the tribe kind of forgot about over time. We're looking at the oil and gas fractionated interests related to those tracts. We're looking at the assets on those properties, and we're also taxing big oil and gas companies and going after those dollars where they never paid those dollars into the tribe so we can help our community. We're building from I-40 all the way to Anadarko. If no one knows right now, the Caddo Nation is extremely on the move. They're doing everything that we can to move the tribe forward. And we're going to be having listening sessions because we're working on a resiliency plan. That resiliency plan is going to take in a lot of different things among the tribe, our members, social services, our programs, housing, transportation, energy, solar energy, whether it's wind energy, whether it's green energy. What does that look like? How do we build our community? Economic development. We're going to look at all of it. And we have a team that we put together, and Mass Design, our architects, and they was here yesterday. They actually were able to acquire over $100,000 from the Marilyn A. Cargill Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, to help the tribe come up with that resiliency plan. Tribal Council had entered into an agreement with Mass Design because they're the ones that are architect in designing our child care center, which is around a $10.5 million build now. $7 million coming from the Administration of Family and Children's Services, the rest coming from local, state, and physical recovery funds from grant funding. Not $1 spent by the tribe, all competitive grants. Unfortunately, 99.9% of what we do are all grants. We are going to live and die by grants. We all know that there's an administration, it can change at any given moment. We have an election coming up in the White House. We're also doing everything that we can to make sure our relationships are strong in a bipartisan way in Washington, D.C., whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or a liberal, so that we can make sure that we get the things that we need to get done for the Caddo Nation. That's very important. Those relationships are very, very vital. So we're going to have listening sessions about that resiliency plan. We want to come in the community and ask you, how do you feel about housing? How do you feel about your family dwelling, your unit? How do you feel about a veterans program? It's being brought up all the time. While I was in DC, just to let Michaela know, because she's sitting here, I had an opportunity to meet with the Veterans Association there in Washington and talk to them about their program and the need of the program here. So we're going to be looking at putting a small group. You may want to be a part of that group to really help our veterans. And we're going to get to questions here in just a moment, but I really wanted to let everyone know that the council and this administration and our employees are doing everything that we can to make sure that you're informed. We're also having a Caddo Nation tribal newsletter come out soon. This the other day, I took a glimpse of that. That's around 12 pages right now. It has photographs and stories. It's really, really incredible. That's going to go out to all our members that would like to receive information about the tribe and that would like to receive a newsletter, that would like to know something that's absolutely not just right here in this community. We're talking about people that live in New York, people that live in Chicago, people that live in Washington, people that live in Texas, East Coast, North, South, and West. So also that's going to be a digital online newsletter too. So you'll always be able to see that. We'll archive that. And again, the Caddo Nation's Veterans Program, we want to get off the ground. And so I'd like to hear your thoughts after we're done today about that. And I also put on here the Caddo Nation constitutional law. That's very, very important. I don't know if you know this or not. There's some of us in this room that's related to the gentleman that wrote the Constitution of the Caddo Nation. The man that wrote that was a Dunlap. Actually, that's my great grandmother's brother, and I know where he's buried at. And I'm really glad to know that we have our election committee for the most part here. And I wanted them to meet with us, and we're going to be meeting more in the council and the government because this is so vital. We are going to have an election in 2025, and that tribal election is an acknowledgement of record. The acknowledgement of record that it needs to be fair and impartial, that it needs to be according to our Constitution. Our Constitution supersedes anything that we may think, or we may think that someone else outside this room may have differences of opinions. The Constitution of the Caddo Nation is the law. And I'm really glad to know that as a council, we're going to do everything that we can to provide the election board the budget that they need, the dollars that they need, the technical assistance that they need. And I wanted to let everybody know that we need your help. I believe we have some spots related to the board where they need to fill that board, and they need to have people that are willing to help with the election. So if anyone would like to participate or be considered as being a part of that board, after the meeting, please meet with our election board or the tribal government. Ultimately, the tribal government has to support the election workers for all their efforts. It's our duty to make sure that the election's fair and impartial, and they have every tool that they need to run that election. So we're going to kick that off and provide them a budget and do all those things. And also, I'm just really happy to know that we have two of our elders here. I'm going to pick on them. I know one, Francis. I know you've been having some difficulties, and I'm really, really glad that you're here. And I'm glad that your sister's here, and I appreciate you two both being here today. So I just wanted to kind of mention those kind of things, and then the old businesses. Again, we always can create jobs, create careers. We can do a lot of different things, but affordable housing, family dwellings, single units, rentals, apartments, and elderly, that is a big thing. We have multiple families living under the same roof. They don't qualify for this program, that program, so we have to offset that cost. One of the ways that we're going to offset all those costs when it comes to funding that you don't receive as a member, like caps and gowns for your kids. Someone has to pay for that. You might need some help. You might need gas. You might need transportation. You might need work. You might need a job. You might need a career. You might need, just a helping hand. The way that we can offset those costs is economically build the economic engine of the tribe. So we're doing everything that we can to look at the Anadarko Basin area because it's also a hub zone. So we just acquired an economic development building on West Broadway. That building is going to serve as our economic development jumping off branch. We're going to go after every dollar that we can and look at creating an incubator of businesses so that we can grow the tribe, so that we can help our members with the unfunded met needs that you have. So if you have ideas about what we need, if you have thoughts, regardless what you might think online or while you're sitting there, ask, talk about it. You may stare up a question that we never thought of, right? You may have something to say that we'd never thought of. None of these individuals, including myself as a chairman, is perfect. We never said we were. Nothing is perfect in this world. Our people used to tell us, if you see someone perfect, they'll show you a liar. The only perfect person is the creator. They call him Ahio, Father in heaven. That's what our people always told us. And we're all related one way or the other. So I'm really glad that everyone's here. We're going to be opening up the George's department store soon. Why is that important? Over 450 Native American kids go to Riverside Indian School. Sometimes they come to that school. Unfortunately, they may not have the clothing or a pair of shoes. Sometimes our members come to us and they have 2 or 3 kids. Maybe they have 4 or 5. Sometimes they have 6 or 7. They don't have a job. Maybe they don't have clothing for their kids to go back to school. Maybe they need a pair of shoes. Maybe they just need some help. We're going to be able to provide the resources now, like a stipend or some sort of, you can come to our social services, you can come to our tribe. Eventually, we're setting this all up to where if you really need help, you can come to the tribe and apply. And we can say, here's $100 or 150 for each kid or $200 and provide those dollars to you in a voucher. And you can go down to our own store at George's if you really, really need the help, and you can get what you need. You can get the shoes that you need, the shirts, the pants, everything that you may need for that child, that grandmother, that uncle, somebody that's in need. We spent over $117,000 in helping kids go back to school with clothing, 0 to 17 years of age. That's never been done before. One of the things that we've noticed is that's a lot of money. We did really well. We acquired the oldest store in the city of Anadarko, which Anadarko gets its name from the Caddo. So the Caddo Nation can say that they own the oldest store in the city of Anadarko, where Anadarko gets its name from, that's been there for 78 years, called George's Department Store. And we're going to continue to operate that store. And we can say that because it's something to be proud of, because we do own the oldest store, and Anadarko gets its name from the Caddo people. And we're going to be able to not just serve our own people, but the community and the other tribes. And the other tribes are really excited for us. I did meet with the superintendent of Riverside, and we talked about the need of clothing there. And so they're really excited. So we're going to have a grand opening eventually, and we're going to be able to provide that much needed resources. So I know the air conditioner just came on, so it does that every now and then. I'll apologize. So the idea in this resiliency plan as we move forward, what does sovereignty really look like? Owning your own home, a job, a career. What does it look like, as a tribe, and building in that tribe? We need to hear what you have to say, because we're looking at the next 200 years. We're not looking at the next 4 or 5, 10 or 20. What does the next 200 years look like? And how can we empower ourselves, empower the tribe to do the things that we need to do when we need to do it? So I'm really excited for the tribe. And a prime example of that, and I was just highlighting some of the things that we've done this past year. We've put new roofs on houses that's never been roofed before. We've helped with Half Moon housing and provided new roofs there. We provided speed bumps and signs for the roads so that the kids that are playing, could be safe. We've been working with the schools. We've been working with the community. We've invested in this community of Gracemont and opening a store there. That store is doing very, very well. We own the only Native American store in Anadarko. We're building from I-40 all the way to Anadarko. If you haven't noticed right now, the tribe's doing a lot of different things. Debt-free. That's important. Debt-free. You don't owe any debt, because we're going after every federal dollar we can at a federal level, at a state level, and we're asking the people in power for those dollars. That's very important. Transportation. We didn't have a transportation program 20 years ago for various different reasons. The transportation department now exists here. We was able to capture $9.5 million in transportation dollars from the federal highway department to help with road improvements where our tribal members live, and school bus routes where our kids ride on the buses so that they can have safe roads. We also got a safe transportation grant for $500,000 to come up with a safety plan related to those safe roads. We're providing car seats. Child care is doing a number of things. All these different departments. Our environmental department is doing a number of things across the United States. The Caddo Nation just became a tribe that has its own fire district. 2.5 miles to the east of 152, 281, 2.5 miles to the west, all the way to the Delaware complex. The Chief Fire Association in the state of Oklahoma just recognized that jurisdiction. The plan is to build our own fire station, to build our own EMT, to build our own new tribal headquarters, and to build the buildings that we need to house these programs. That's what that resiliency plan is going to take care of. If you haven't seen it in the news locally, we just paved 18 miles of new roads with federal highway money through the BIA Federal Highway Road Program. The county commissioners, we had to work with them and we saved a lot of money. You're looking at around $700,000 to $1 million a mile. We were able to contribute $300,000 a mile of federal highway dollars, what we advocated for, that we went to work for in this council to get, so that we could work with the county to build these safe roads in bridges where we live. So there's 18 miles. I don't know if anyone's from around Fort Cobb, Oklahoma, or live around that area. There's a group of homes on a road that goes from Ski Boy all the way to the dam at Fort Cobb. Some of the people that live there are no longer with us, but some of the houses that are there still belong to our family members, and we have relatives that live there. That road is a new road. We have other roads that go from Oney through Albert to connecting the schools and to Binger. It's pretty incredible, because one of the things that's going to happen next week is State Representative Tony Hassenbeck is going to be visiting the area and looking at the roads, along with myself, the county commissioners, and the district attorney, and hopefully Congressman Lucas also. And we're going to take a tour of the roads that the tribe helped develop. All those roads were funded by the Caddo Nation through a federal highway program. That federal highway works with the county and the local municipalities and everyone. And so it's pretty incredible. We just went and took a tour the other day. So I'm glad you're here. And one of the things that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just pause in what I have to say. I want to hear from you. And I know that the people online, if they have a question or if they'd like to say something, they're going to have to type their question in. But one of the things I want to do, somebody said I was really, really crazy for doing this, and they're probably right. But I don't believe so. So I'm going to take the microphone and I'm going to give it to someone over here that's sitting here as a tribal member. If he has any concerns or ideas or thoughts, and we're going to leave it brief, okay? Like 2 minutes. Just go around the room until the microphone gets over here. And while you're here, what you'd like to say. This is your meeting, and we'd like to hear what people have to say online. And if you don't have nothing to say, you can sing a song, like an Elvis song. I mean, whatever you want to do.
Bobby. No, me and my wife, we was big recycle contributors whenever we lived in eastern Oklahoma. And yeah, and we was wanting to see if the tribe could get like a recycling business going for this area. That's my question.
Do we have another mic? Is that the one over here? Huh? Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to give it to, that way we can keep the mic going and I can answer. He asked a question about the recycling. We do have a program where we recycle here at the tribe. And so you'll see the recycling bins outside here. And we are talking to the Department of Energy about decarbonizing and recycling and going after some of those recycling dollars. So just so that but right now, you will see the bins out here, and you can talk to our environmental department. They've even been doing a lot of stuff and going different places, picking up computers, different stuff, and recycling. So plastics and all that. Jerome McCowan, you'd want to talk to him. He can tell you all about the program. Okay.
Do you have expertise in recycling? Do you have ideas for a business or what way to do it, or for the tribe to make it a business or something like that?
You're being interviewed now.
I worked for the Choctaw Nation. I did work at a recycling center there. And what their biggest deal of recycling was, they did paper. They recycled paper, cardboard, cans, plastic bottles. And the way that their production picked up is whenever they got a conveyor belt, instead of picking through it like that, they got a conveyor belt that brought all the recycles, and then they was able to separate it and stuff, and they was able to get.
Well, if the tribe needed expertise, would you be willing to advise your what district are you from? Bangor?
Tracy's.
Yeah, talk to them,
Yeah.
and maybe you can give them ideas about what to do, and maybe you could run it for us instead of
Yeah.
have somebody else run it.
All right.
Okay, well, all right. For myself, I am Gail Cousin Satefahoodle, and I am from the Fort Cobb district. I have to use the Carnegie Clinic. Who is our representative to the board for the hospital in Lawton?
Kelly? Oh, is it Kay?
Well, I have, because I am not in the Caddo district, I have to use the Carnegie Clinic. And I would like to say that they are not the best or the most helpful. As I get older in age, I'm having problems, and I'm having to see doctors and everything, and they say, well, okay, we'll send it to the Carnegie Clinic, and then we'll send the results to the Carnegie Clinic, and then they can take care of it. They don't do it. I have to call them and say, did you receive what the doctor diagnosed me for, and what can we do about it? I never hear from them. So I would like for our representative to the board of the Lawton Service Unit to take care of that and see that the clinics, all of them, not just the Carnegie Clinic, are a lot more responsive to their patients. I'm very angry about that. Also, transportation. If we're receiving billions of dollars to do this, do you suppose we could have a little bus for people to run around Gracemont and Anadarko and get people up here to have lunch? Also, the Secretary of the Treasurer that Bobby was talking about, he said she was Indian. I thought the Secretary of the Treasurer was Janet Yellen. Who were you speaking
No, we're
with?
talking about the Treasurer of the United States, not the Secretary. Marilyn Malerba is the
What's her
treasurer.
name?
Marilyn Malerba. She's the former chief of the Mohican tribe. She's the treasurer of the United States, not the secretary. We're talking about the treasurer on our dollar, on our money.
I didn't get her name, but I'll get it. Okay, the fire force that you were talking about. If you were to have a fire, you have to live between I-240 and the Delaware casino, that's what, or nation?
No, you actually have to have the fire district designated as a district with the tribe, like the Quapaw. They have 3 fire stations, and so the state has to recognize your district as a fire district, which allows a tribe to go after the funding to build the fire house and buy the needed stuff for the firehouse, and you know, there's a lot of dollars out there. So what happens is we're responding to the whole community. That's how it works. So we're tied in with all the first responders in the host state.
But you have to live in that district. So
No,
Is
you
there
don't have to live in that district. I'll give you an example. We had a fire here right down the road, and when I was going that way, I had to turn around and come back because we had to go put that fire out. The fire trucks and the pump trucks, they came all the way from Lawton, from the Comanche Nation, from the BIA, from Minko, and no one responded here. One house about burned up, and some barns burned, and these are Caddo houses right up here at the road. So we wanted to fix that. And so we have new pump trucks. We're working with the BIA to get those pump trucks on their list so that we can run those trucks and have drivers in those trucks full time.
Is there a number? Is there a specified number that our tribal people can call? What is it?
Right now, it's just our emergency management, how they respond in Caddo County, Canadian County, just in the host
Is
state.
that- How do you do that? Who are we calling? And
Oklahoma Emergency Management Association.
so what are we doing? Calling 911 or what?
No, here's what happens is when there's a response, it's like a blow call. Every community's involved and every tribe's involved. And that's how that works. And
I want to know if
here's what
there was a house up here on the hill that had a fire. Who do they call and what is the number? How do they get in touch with our fire department?
we called Jesus because we was hurt because no one responded. And because of that, we asked the same question. Who do we respond to? How do we fix this? So you're going to have a website with a phone number. All that information is going to be on and all that's going to be taken care of by a man by the name of Jerome McCowan. And he worked for the city of Duncan for years. So they're setting up the process so that you'll know who to call, when to call.
So it's not a reality right now, but it is in
It's in the
process
works.
of being.
Right. The first thing was getting the state to recognize the fire district.
So we don't have it actually right now. We're waiting for authorization.
No, we already got the authorization. Now we're going after the funding to build it.
Okay.
Okay.
So no is the answer right now. Okay. Now, I am wondering about, you said that we had monies that we had received for transportation. Is there a way that we can get a little bus or something to Anadarko for our people that are not able to drive to get up here to have a meal?
So we do have transportation and we do have a vehicle that goes and picks elders up and people and bring them here. But there's a transit program through the Federal Highway Department for tribes to have their own transit system. And that's also going to be a part of that resiliency plan as far as going after a transit system so that we can have the dollars to buy those vehicles, to put people in those driver's seats, to come after our members or take them where they need to go to have a meal.
So that's another project that is still on the planning board.
Yeah, but so right now, if you want to come here, you can call AOA and they'll come get you and bring you here. If you want to, if a fire happens, you can call 911 or call our emergency management guy and they'll get on it.
Okay. All right. Let me see.
I am glad to know that because I'm not allowed to drive anymore. So I can't get up here for meals. And I am sick and tired of the Delaware meals. Those people, they're terrible, just awful. And I've been up here for meals when I could drive, and they were very good. But I'm glad to know. And that is something that should be in our newsletter, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know that we can get up here for a meal or call AOA.
Yeah, you want to call AOA, but the idea is to have a transit system so that we can have a vehicle and have people to get in it and make that kind of like a everyday thing. Right now, you can also get a meal in Gracemont, Oklahoma it starts at 11. It's Monday through Thursday We're providing meals in the Gracemont area. So you can also grab a meal there as well.
Where?
School is at the church next door to our store, right? Across from the cafe, there's a church there. And so we've been working with the church and the community to provide hot meals. And the other day, the lights went out here. No one had lights. So we even deployed our emergency medical tent so they could have heat and water and Red Cross and all that stuff.
That's great. But the idea is you have to get there. I mean,
Right.
you have to have transportation to get there.
Right.
Then you have the transportation to get here, and you have to have transportation to get to Gracemont if you live in Anadarko.
So that's why we need a transit system and the money to go after.
Yes,
that.
I was a participant with the Kiowa Fast Trans when I was still working before I retired. And I rode that transit bus, but I had to get to the transit bus. It used to be there. They used to have a gas station in Carnegie where the casino is now, and we would get there, and there were about 10 of us that rode that bus to Lawton every day, and that was great. So if we could have something like that, but the idea is people who cannot drive, they have to be picked up from their home because they are not allowed to drive. And I think that's what we're talking about. And you're talking about a transit system.
Right, that affixed that. Right. So as the microphone moves on, I also want to let you know, a lot of people you may not know, we have a registered nurse that's on call, and she goes to people's houses. I think she had COVID more times than anyone that works here. And she's out there every single day. Our CHR workers, they actually have a van that you can actually pick people up that that are in wheelchairs or that can't get in a normal vehicle. So they have the capability of picking someone up and transporting that individual. And we also have a new community health building in Anadarko. Our social service, our Indian child welfare, our RN, eventually you'll be able to go get your medical eye exams done there through telehealth related to tele eyes, I guess. And we have a Dr. Marvel that's working on that. But it's going to be yeah, it's the old ODOT building in Anadarko on
West Broadway.
no, that's a totally different building. But what we're going to do is be watching our Facebook, because we're going to have, on our website, because we're going to eventually have a grand opening. But the idea is to provide a good health service to where our members just don't have to come here, because we have over 400 families that live in Anadarko. And just for her reasons, they sometimes don't have transportation. They cannot get to here. So that allows them to have a place. And we're also looking at
Bobby, for those of us
You-
that don't do Facebook,
what's that?
for those
Oh, I
of
know.
us that
That's why you're going to get the newsletter.
can you know? Well, yes, I'd love that also. But is there some way you could just put it on the tribal website? You
Yes.
could put these things instead of having to go to Facebook, which I'd have no
Right.
idea.
It's
how
going to be,
do.
it's on our website too. But
I mean, everything you're speaking of right now, would it be possible to put that on the website? And you're talking about the fire force that's in the development stages, and that what happened to you and what you heard and what you saw and what was great in DC.
I want to
You
get
know,
that on the website too.
yes. And
I just don't have time to do all the time, but we're really working on trying to make
well,
what
I
you're
think
saying a reality.
that's what kind of frustrates us all, because we come here and we hear about these things and then we don't hear about them or can't read about them. I mean, with a little bit more, I
Yeah.
hate this word. I hate the word called transfer. I used to be just called information, just give us a hint of what you're doing, how you're doing it, where it is. Is it still in the planning stages? Is it going on? Can we call a fire department? Can we get a ride to the transit? Yeah.
Right.
I think that's wonderful. But I never hear from this I never
That-
hear from these people.
That's because they have respect for you and they're listening to you.
Oh, baloney. Get off of that. Get off of that. Who do you think you're kidding? Yeah. We're not so old that we can fairy tales still.
What we want to do though, in that regard, we want to keep going and then we're going to hear from people online and our council members. That way,
I
They-
sure like to hear from them. I've been, I don't know how many meetings and
Oh, you-
I don't hear anything from them. Even when I ask questions about the Indian Health Service, I get a head shake, but I don't hear any words. I'm wondering, do they speak?
you have our microphone. Well, let's keep moving and we're going to get back over here so our council members can say something too. Well, we're going to go around.
Bobby, I want to tell you all, we are so quick to criticize, but it takes us a little while to praise something. But I want to tell you that I take advantage of both the home health nurse and that bus that takes you to the appointments, the CHR group. They're wonderful. They are so good. And Taylor and Nina do an excellent job. I am so pleased with what we have. We have so much more now than we ever had before. And I am so proud. I'm so proud of us. But a question that I have is we bought George's department store. Did we buy all of that inventory too?
What was left of it? Right. What was left of it?
Well, what I want to know now is how are we going to increase it? If we send people down there to get shoes with a voucher, they're not going to give us any money. So how are we going to get the money to replenish our stock?
So the United States government provides us funding. I'll give you an example for social service. Say if we had 100 or 200,000 or a $500,000 and we're providing vouchers of that government money and they're going to our store, that money's turning over in our community and we're buying from ourselves and it sustains the store and sustains itself by using taxpayer dollars. That's how we're going to get that done.
I think that's wonderful. I am just so pleased. And this young man here too, with the recycling, I have to take my recycling stuff because I take it seriously. I have to take, or whoever is going that way, I have to get him to take my stuff to Oklahoma City so they can pick it up. I have 2 daughters up there and they are good about taking.
Before we leave, I want to make sure you know who our environmental director is because they actually been going to people's houses, helping them pick trash up and do those type of things.
Yeah,
So that way a lot of that stuff's on our website, but it's embedded in that. And so since a lot of people too don't get on a website or they don't get on Facebook, that's why we're sending the newsletter out.
oh, that would be a big, big help.
All right. We blew our 2 minutes up.
Oh,
We'll come back to you.
What's the
We know where you live too. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Kirsten Cousin Freeman. Just really Kirsten Cousin. But anyhow, I'm here to learn about all the wonderful endeavors that the Caddos have gotten into lately. And I think that the newsletter is wonderful because I will see things on Facebook and I have to copy it, send it to my mother, which she doesn't usually know how to open to get half the time. So I have to tell her about it all the time. So I think a newsletter is wonderful because a lot of these services, it sounds like, have been available for quite a while, but no one ever knew about them, like picking up the recycling. And I'm glad they'll go to her house because I'm about ready to get her recycling and throw it in the back of my vehicle and take it back to Texas with me because it's just piled up. But no, and on the transportation, when it does go through, I'd like to see something that would also be able to take elders or whoever needs help to like Walmart or someplace for grocery shopping. Because my mother is home for a couple of weeks now, and my other sisters have to come from Norman. They drive from Norman on the weekend so they can take her to the store to get what she needs and then drive an hour back to Norman. Not that we mind doing that, but it would be nice, right? If she needed some kind of incidental or something came up during the week, it'd be nice if she was able to go to the store. But anyway,
We
that's
got you.
it.
Thank you.
I must say though, that Nina, our home health nurse lady, she told me if I ever need anything to give her a call. Well, Taylor also told me the same thing, but I don't like to bother them. I know they have a job.
We actually pay them so you can bother them. Please bother them. Please have at it. We would appreciate that.
Tell them you told me to.
All right. Appreciate the comments and thank you. We're going to get back to you. I don't know if anybody heard that. Give her back to Mike so everyone can hear that online. Then we're going to take off again. That way we'll be here all day. All right. One more thing.
Well, what I said was when we do these things in Anadarko, when we buy establishments, why don't we toot our own horn? Why don't we put our name up there? You know, if those dang Wichitas had it, they would have it splashed all over there like Trump does every time he buys a building or something. I want to see Caddo tribe. I want to see Caddo tribe all over Anadarko. I want to see Caddo tribe all over across the state. But anyway, that's what I say. I know that how would you say? People hate for me to get started on how much the Caddo tribe does and how great we are and how wonderful we are. And our culture's the greatest, and so forth. And I want to see our name on these buildings. I want to see Caddo tribe. And I don't want to see some little short white man's name, McKee,
All right.
on
Yeah, I will hear it in a minute. Okay. All right. We're going to move on. We heard what you had to say. So just so that you know, Francis and Gail, just so that you know, everything that you're talking about and everything that we're going to hear over here, regardless of what it might be, we're writing it down. Okay. We're writing it down so that we can make note of it and work toward those things because that's what we need to do. So really glad to hear that. And just so that you also know, Markham Media was here last week. And we're looking at not only doing live stuff about what we're doing, we're also talking about doing a commercial and really talking about the tribe, the history, and who we are. If you ever watched the Chickasaw Nation, Lisa Billy, who's the Speaker of the House, will get on there and say, "Hi, I'm Lisa Billy. Welcome to the Chickasaw Nation." And they'll start talking about who they are. The Choctaws do the same thing. We are in a totally different world today, and people need to know who the tribe is and what we're doing. And trust me when I say this, in Washington, D.C., in federal agencies and congressional leaders, all the way to the White House, they know who the Caddo Nation is today. And we're not going anywhere. And we're going to continue to build those relationships so that we can get the dollars that we need to help our tribe. So, Mike, we're going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
Sing a song for us.
With respect for time, I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you for all your hard work. I know you do a lot of work every day for all of us that doesn't get recognized. So I just wanted to say thank you. they actually had the same questions I did, and you've answered all of them. So I'm just going to pass the mic on to someone who I think has a lot of questions for you.
I'm gonna try to make it short. So with all this firefighter stuff, do we have firefighters? I mean, is our firefighter crew, can they come, or do they apply us? Do we have a firefighter program?
The firefighter program is on our website, the information about it. And we just got some people trained up and they passed their drug test. We're working with the BIA to get those fire trucks that we have, those pump trucks on their list. Because every time that they run in the community, it's also $600 a pop for each one of those trucks that are running. But we have to get our people trained through them. They provide the Forest Service training for pump trucks.
Are y'all
Buildings
sending
that catch on fire stuff, that's a totally different process.
So we are sending people to get trained?
Right. Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
And probably like we should have like a on our website, like a list of numbers, contacts for the emergency management. That way, if people, whenever emergencies come, say like the electric, we have I'll go to the website and have like a frequently asked questions or a list of the emergency numbers to contacts. We just need contacts to who to contact in case something happens. That'd save a lot of problems too. And then as far as this veteran program, maybe the veterans get some together. I don't know of any other peer veterans my age, but maybe we can get something with the transportation too. Veterans can help transport elders or whoever needs, just members need to go to
That's
the
a good
store or
idea.
something, And then also the cost of living is going up. A lot of us members, as far as single mothers, tribal members, members who have kids, tribal kids, it's kind of taking a toll on us. It's kind of harsh, my gas, it's on propane. I don't have gas, I have propane. I applied for the social services. They couldn't even pay a month of heat for me. My heating for my 200 gallons is $400, I think. And they could only pay 200. So they can even pay a month's worth of my heat. So that's another issue. Maybe, y'all said, we get these grant dollars. Well, it's not enough. It's really not enough for, I don't know what it helps with. It does help. Thank you. But, it's really, I don't have, that's one of the problems as well. It's just the cost of living is going up. And also, what's the relationship with the STIT? Do you, as the chairman with our state governor, are you doing any negotiations with him to make Caddo members' lives living in Oklahoma a little bit less stressful, dealing with the STIT situation, the governor? What's your look out on that with the tags and the whole governor situation? What's that? How's that look for you?
It looks pretty crazy at the moment.
All right.
I'll answer those questions here in a minute. So while she's handing the mic over to Eric, really appreciate all the questions that you had. And you're right. We're underfunded. That's not nothing that no one doesn't know. And so it's real vital that you as members and those that are on the line in your family, make sure that you fill out the census, make sure that we know where you're at. That has a lot to do with funding, because we have to ask for those dollars. And if they only give us funding to help 10 people instead of 7,000, we're not going to be able to help everyone. So just keep that in mind too. Also, in relation to the tag issue here in the state of Oklahoma, I've met with the tribes. The council's been meeting with the other elected leaders. We also had a discussion at the National Congress of American Indian when we all attended the conference with other tribes. And right now, until House Bill 1159 is amended by the state, we're going to stand by that. House Bill 1159 recognizes Indian country as the host state of Oklahoma. Until Governor Stint actually gets that amended in the House politically, Every tribe is standing on that. Right now, he unfortunately has tried 3 different cases. One of them is a tobacco case, and he sued tribes, and then the gaming compact, and he's always wanting to sue a tribe, and so he's lost every case. And so it is a money grab. We know it's a money grab, but it also puts fear into our members when they get in a car. But just rest assured that there's 39 tribes in this state and over 500,000 natives that they feel the same way. A lot of them feel the same way you do, right? That this is Indian country. Until that House bill is changed, there's nothing that we're going to do to say that we have to bend to his rules as a governor, right? Because it's not in our best interest as a tribe. So if you want those letters related to that law in your vehicle, in your glove compartment, please ask our tag office. They're also online because we posted all that. And our tag office has also been going to other meetings with our state representatives, the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, and some of the meetings to hear what the governor is doing and what the other tribes are doing. Right now, there's a big push among tribes to continue meeting regarding anything that impacts our tribe and our members in Indian country that comes out of the governor's office, just so that everybody knows. Yeah, it's probably, it was on our Facebook and it was online on our website. I would go to tag and see if you can, and I think they also mailed it out to everyone that has a title and registration. But hold on that thought. Hold on.
Just as an update, in case you guys hadn't heard, from what I know of, there was officially two natives in Oklahoma that received tickets for their tags, and both of them had their court dates, and their local courts had thrown those cases out. So I didn't know if you guys had heard that, but both of them were thrown out. So they weren't upheld in court, which is a good thing for, our tags. And I just wanted to reassure our Caddo people to not panic and call our tag office and, withdraw your tag and go and get an Oklahoma state tag over this fear, and just hold it out, and hold the course with us, because that has happened. So right after that came out, it was like a big frenzy. Everybody was panicking. A lot of tribal members across the state, and including some Caddos, called the tag office and said, well, I'm scared. I don't want to be profiled and be pulled over and get a ticket. So they were calling and, this is what the state wanted exactly. So people actually were doing that, and they were calling and pulling out there to say, I don't want my Caddo tag anymore. Just pull my name out and get their registration back. And then they went to their state tag offices and got Oklahoma state tags. But that's kind of like what we feared would happen, and that's exactly what happened. But the couple of people that did get tickets, yeah, their tickets were thrown out. Just so everybody is aware of that. Yes.
For those members that are online and that are in this room, if you get pulled over and you have a Caddo tag and you get ticketed for having a tribal tag and it says that, please bring that to our headquarters. All the tribes in Oklahoma are asking that their members do that, and we're asking the same because we need to know, because we don't know of anyone, even though we had tribal members pull over for other reasons, we don't know of anyone in our tribe that's been ticketed for having a tribal tag. What's that? Right. Yes. So what happens, when this all broke, a tribal member towards the east was ticketed because they didn't pay their taxes, right? They had a tribal tag. Anything like that, if you get anything like that, y'all need to please bring it here. Let us know, call us, and we'd like to have a copy of that ticket. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Eric, sorry about that. Are you done? Pass the mic. You don't want to sing a song? No blues today? Nothing? All right. Go ahead.
Hi, Tracy Compton. I just wanted to thank again the council and chairman for everything that they are doing to move the Caddo Nation forward. And I am looking forward to the newsletter that's going to help our at-large members feel like they are truly still part of the Caddo Nation.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Good morning. Um, as an elder, I want to be mindful of the time that I take this morning in speaking, and I want to speak in a good way, solution oriented. And I have a few things that I want to hit on. The first one being that I know I came in late. I had a little situation, but there weren't any minutes from the last membership meeting up here with our paperwork. And so I don't know if those packet of minutes that were from the membership meeting were they approved this morning or not. I know that I have this one page thing, but I went online and the Zoom stuff is only in the Zoom piece.
They were approved this morning
Okay,
and they're
so
bringing you a copy of the minutes.
Okay, like I said, I got here a little late
Oh, that's fine.
and oh, really? Okay, so the Zoom stuff is not on here then, included in our minutes from the last membership meeting? It's on here? Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that that was on there, and that I really feel that I don't feel that I am a member in a democracy. And that's because decisions are being made for us. Whether those decisions are right or wrong, good, bad, and different, I'd like to see a little bit more transparency. And I'd like to see financial reports and expenditure listings. And I know that the last membership meeting, I seen that that stuff was online. And but I just wanted to make sure that I vocalized that piece, that there is a lot of lip service. There is a lot of kind of explaining and talking about programs and talking about businesses, but we don't have anything tangible. And I'm a person, I like to see something. I like to hold something. And that's important to me. So that's just the first thing. The second thing was that in November, I used social services a couple weeks back. And Bobby, you made a comment a minute ago about if you really, really, really need help. So I don't know how that's determined by one or two individuals, whether a tribal member really, really, really needs help. But most tribal members aren't going to reach out for help if they don't really, really need help. Okay. And as an elder, I had a crisis in November and December. My daughter was hospitalized 3 times at 3 different hospitals. And it was in Lawton and in Oklahoma City, and I had to rent hotels, and I had to use gas. I had to take care of my grandchildren. And I found myself absolutely depleted of resources. And I reached out. Okay. I got some food taken care of. It took 7 days. Okay. 7 days. And I think we can do better for our people. Tracy, thank you. You are amazing. You know,
another thing is when I reached out, I live in I'm Cheyenne as well. And I know a lot of people know that. And I live over at Cheyenne Elder Housing. And when I asked for help, I was told that I said I need a little bit of help with my rent and a little bit with food. And I was told by the director of social services, Catley Butler, and if she was here, I'm saying this in public because I am very truthful, that by me asking for assistance for help for my rent, part of my rent, that I was double dipping. Okay. We don't need to talk to our tribal members that way. We need to have compassion. We need to have empathy. I was a director of social services for the Wichitas. I ran many programs and never once, I'm a substance abuse counselor. I work with addicts every day. And not once do I ever talk down to them, belittle them, try to make them feel like they're ripping me off or ripping the tribe off for money. So that was hurtful. And I'm going to say that we need to do better for our people. Okay. Charity starts at home too. It's going to be great to help others. The elder said with the George's shoes, the department store. That's great. But let's help our people first, and let's be mindful. These directors that run these different programs, the people that answer the phone, that they do it in a good way. Because it doesn't feel good when you're asking for help and then you're being accused of double dipping. Or another person called me about when they got their food, they were told, oh, you can't have that on your grocery list. Oh, you can't have that on your grocery list. Oh, you can't have chips on there. And they're like, well, I have kids and maybe I want to make sandwiches and chips for dinner one day. Oh, no, you can't have that. Okay, that's demeaning. That's belittling. That is not okay. Okay. So that was heavy on my heart and I just really needed to say that. Okay, Bobby.
Thank you.
And so I'm not sure what the policy is with helping people that are in housing, elder housing. For a 1-bedroom, I pay $400. That's because my utilities and things are included. Okay, so I don't know. I know that you couldn't help people that were in Caddo HUD housing because they said that's double dipping with their rent. But if I'm getting assistance from another tribe, I don't see the issue in helping with some of my rent. I asked her when that happened because I had used it before. And she goes, well, I don't know, a month or two ago, or maybe this month. Well, that needs to be put down in policy. That needs to be written down somewhere. Okay. So I don't know where our housing board is. And I didn't have time to address that. I have a lot going on. My daughter's still sick. She has cancer and it's been rough. Okay. Let me see. Also, let's see. I wanted to see, okay, the emergency services. People reached out to me regarding that lived in Gracemont. When that happened that evening, yes, we have emergency service, but they didn't get out there till the next day in the afternoon. And I know people are busy and I know things are going on. But those families were without heat overnight and we can do better. And we did good, but it's a lesson to learn that if we have emergency management system, those lights went off at 8:30 the night before. And so those families were cold throughout that night in those early morning hours. So I'm saying we can do better and we can be better. And that we need to be kinder and gentler and more compassionate to our people. You guys are servants. And I ask that you really talk to your staff, that they treat us with kindness and compassion. Thank you, Michaela, for mentioning the emergency situation because you were helpful in helping me in that situation, trying to get a number for the emergency management system, which was challenging. So we were all scrambling around, let's just say that. I just, one last thing. There was a statement I wanted to say, and it happens here a lot. And I'm, and guilty of this. The problem with communication is with most people, they listen to respond, not to hear and process what is being said and then respond. And I think that we can learn from that, and that we need to, there's a reason Creator gave us 2 of these and 1 of these, that we need to respond, but we need to listen first and process what's being said. Because I've been here when elders have been by you, Bobby, and I haven't spoken up, and I felt bad about it when elders have been kind of belittled. And it hurts my heart when you say, oh, she's 100 years old or this or that. And I'm like, man, Andrea, you didn't speak up to how we talk to an elder in a way like that. And I think we need to treat each other better. And she's not here. I haven't seen her. I don't know where she is. I do want to know if we can still make motions, because I would like to make a motion, at least to put on the agenda, about changing our logo. And I know we have a quorum here, and I'm not sure if we're still allowed to make motions. And
So just so that you know, logos are different than a seal. And so we have a whole
Oh, the
team that's
seal.
looking at that.
seal.
That's going to be included in that inclusion plan, which they're going to be meeting with you and community members. So we really want you to show up at those meetings so that we can talk about, logos and seals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to answer some of your questions though when you hand the mic this way.
No, and I believe I'm good. I just would like to have the reports for the businesses, how they're doing. I just want to be able to have some of those things, but most importantly that these department heads, and when they communicate with our members, let's make sure. And then of course, accountability.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right. So I know we said 2 minutes. We have people online that asked questions too, and we wrote some of those down. So if we can continue, with our questions and kind of get the questions answered and move on down, just with respect for everyone else's time. Also, you mentioned, there's a lot of things that the council, when they're elected, any council, it's not just us, they're empowered to make decisions. The membership is empowered. It's a living, breathing thing. And so we need to hear those things that you have to say, right? And as far as that 100-year-old Caddo lady, she's my sister, so we can tease each other like that in our Caddo way. So it's no disrespectful thing. It's just a Caddo thing. So I really appreciate you being here. And Shirley, you got the mic on your phone, so I don't know if you want to say anything, or that's up to you.
Well, what I have to say is that I am so proud of what's going on. When I saw that in the paper, I thought, now, is that my tribe that's doing this? Bobby, our chairman, and his team, because that's who, to me, it didn't happen. It wouldn't have happened if they were all working together. Each and one of them. And I am very proud. Only thing I'd like to hear more about, signs been about the cattle people done this and done that. Because I live in Anadarko. I want them to know who we are. And like I said, I'm very proud of them. Because I can remember when we used to meet up on the hill. Do you know I was 9 years old and watch all the other kids play outside? I didn't get to play outside. My grandma, she says, you sit right here because you're going to be having to do a lot of things or listen when we have to do something. You sit there, you have to learn. She was very firm. Our elders were very important to us. They still are. I don't care what you say about the elders. I mean, yes, I do, but I'll talk to you about that later. I mean, what gets me is that Bobby, I mean, to me, that no, I don't, I don't want to make my elders feel like I'm complaining about them, because these two over there is my older sisters. I love them dearly. I remember them saying things, but if you really listen, they can teach us. And to me, that I was taught that's very important. But we show respect for one another. We show love, please. With the group that's up there that's talking to us, that's got us this far. It's taken a long while for what has been done. But is it the health? Over there from the, our center there. What is that? CHR? Yeah, CHR. Is it CHR? Okay. I've gone over there, they've done some things for me that, they didn't drive too fast, because I didn't wonder, I hadn't got a ticket because I'm going too slow, But they were polite to me. They were, very careful of, I'd walk in there, I have to be careful. Because that's something, I'm not complaining, okay, because I know y'all are busy and don't take it by. But Bobby, there's on the building that goes in, where you got 1, 2, 3 steps. It's hard for us to walk up in there. I almost fell. And there's been some others. So I don't know what can be done, but yeah, but we need one. That's where we go in at most of the time. There isn't even a rail to hang on to. And it was kind of wet and everything. And my feet kind of slid off there. And I think it was not one of a young girl that works there, Patty's granddaughter. If she hadn't caught me, I could have really been hurt. And I'm not the only one that this has happened. So if there's something that we could do about that, we would well appreciate it. But now you better close your ears because of what I'm fixing to do. I'm serious. No. Thank you for what you've done for our tribe. And for what, I just get so excited. Because I've been here a long time and I don't mind saying, I am saying if I'm proud of my counter people, each one of y'all. I'm proud of my nephew. My family just, I can see them just doing things, and I know it's hard because you get people, they'll come up, well, why didn't Bobby do this? Not to, I'm gonna stop you right here. I don't want to hear. If you got a complaint, you take it up there, but you do it the right way. Oh, I said, so, thank you again.
Now I know why there was 500 people that showed up at my office.
I don't have much to say. I'm Margie Francis Rico. Bobby, you're doing a wonderful job. Each one of you up there. Oh my gosh. I'm so in awe. Oh, I did see a commercial, you guys. I went to the theater, AMC, sitting there watching the things roll by, and there was Caddo people talking Caddo. Yeah, and it said Caddo Nation, and I was like, that's my people, because everybody was in the place looked at me, but I was so excited. I had never seen that of us. And because I've seen it of all the other tribes, I know they're on TV all the time. This was in a picture theater. Yeah. It was cool. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. By the time I found you in the book, but it's so wonderful to see us out there and to be doing things, and the pride just swells up inside of us. I mean, you guys don't realize how proud we are. We're doing something good instead of fussing and fighting and carrying on. Thank you so much for that. I mean, I used to dread coming to these meetings. Now I'm like, let's go see some relatives. I mean, that's the way it feels, and it's a good feeling. That's all I really got to say. So I'm passing it on.
This is my sister. I'm Beatrice, was Francis in Johnston, and my mom was Mary Pat Francis. I think you guys are doing just a great job. I love having more connection with you guys there on our council. I love the access that I reach out and I get a response. I do, and I guess she's not here anymore, Michaela. I love that this young person spoke up and had a voice and had such good comments. I think we need to be encouraging our young people to do just that, because I sat over here and I was taking notes. So I caught her at the door, but I love that. I love to see that she is keeping her eyes open and invested and knows that she can speak up. I'm loving seeing you guys across the table. I'm talking to my daughter here, and of course I got my sister right here, and you remind us of us sisters. And I was telling my daughter, yeah, your Grammy knew these ladies too, so I love to see that and to be able to share that history. Even though her Grammy's not here, she's got some of her friends that are here. And I told her, I said, if your Grammy was here, she would be asking questions just like that. And she would just be holding Bobby's toes to the fire and all of that. She would be doing that. So I appreciate that we're able to hear from you guys in that way. And we would have been standing behind her like your daughter was, trying to get the microphone too. Because she was the same way. I appreciate the website. There's a lot of good information on there. And before I came to the meeting this morning, I had a chance to go in and look at a lot of these notes and things. So I encourage you guys to check out our website and find that information on there. I periodically will go in there and I'll, kind of go through all of the tabs to see what I've missed. But I encourage you to do that because it is there. There's a lot of good stuff there. I don't get on Facebook so much myself because you go down a hole and you kind of disappear for a few hours. But I do like this because it's real good, tangible information. I have 5 things here. The tags, I appreciate the information on the tags and that it's not just me running down the street, because I know it's not, all about me, but that we're all in it together. It's nice to be able to hear that. It was nice the day that my tag was pretty much overdue, because I wait the full 30 days after before I try to come up here. And I was able to come up and talk with the tag folks, and they said, sure, everybody's renewing their tag. So that was great to be able to actually talk to a person and then to be able to reassure me, because I was in that moment going, what do I need to do? Because I'm proud of my Caddo tag. I love that Caddo tag. My girl, when she got her first car, she wanted to get a Caddo tag, couldn't do it because her dad is not Caddo and he was paying for the car. So she wanted to get a Caddo tag. So we are so proud of it. So I'm glad that we are able to continue moving forward. And, and I pray that everything continues so that we can be able to do that. All of the tribal members, not just us. Educational assistants. I'm embarrassed my girl, but she graduated with her undergraduate degree. She's going on to she wants to get her doctorate. And so she's applying for scholarships, but I've noticed that the things that the tribe offers, it's not for those advanced degrees. And so United is encouraged as we move forward to look for more funding in that way, because she's applying for all different kinds of scholarships because it needs to get paid. We're not a rich people, but I encourage you to look at in that arena to be able to apply, because she's still young. It's not like she's gone out and got a job since she graduated. She's continuing to apply and working part-time while she tries to get into graduate school. And yes, she got accepted to several, but she is going to Emory. So yay. She wants to be a physical therapist. I'm so telling all her business, but I'm so proud of her. She has worked hard and continues to do that. I do encourage you guys. We have me and Chris here on our election board, and we do need new members for our election board. What we set up when we first came on was we were set up so one person would cycle off a year and we would be able to bring in a new person. And the goal of that, and Charlotte actually set this up this way, was so that people can be trained over time. So we're not re-electing a whole election board at the same time. So that's our goal, is to be able to get some new members in there, people with different, we're all different, and we need those different ideas and thoughts and all of that so that we can function well. Our prayer is that we do a good job, and that, I know I don't like the word transparent either, but that our tribal members know that they can trust us, that we are doing the best that God calls us to do. So I appreciate being able to be a part of the election board, but look around and ask your folks. And yeah, definitely Christy or I or Charlotte and our council put the names forward, because we need some new people to come on. Thank you.
The college educated girl does not want to talk. One of these days it's going to be what they told us. One of these days it's supply and demand. You're going to have to say something.
Okay, if she's not going to talk for you guys, I'm going to tell you one thing that she did do that I'm very proud of, and it was in service for our Native American folks. Yeah, just like my mom, she would have been stealing this, like sisters over here. But she graduated from the University of Alabama. Her dad is from Alabama. And I also graduated there. And when I graduated, our Creek people, my dad was Creek, came from that area. All of us, so many tribes came from out east. And it was like going full circle. And while she was there, I told her, I said, if you go back to school over there, it's going to be a lot different than Oklahoma. I said, I searched the whole time I was there looking for our Native people. Everybody was Hispanic or some other ethnicity. And so what she did while she was there is she established the first Native American student organization on the campus. And she had to go through all of the hoops for all of the other things. She got them to have dances on campus, do educational things during Native American Awareness Month and throughout the year. And so she was able to do this. So even though she's not talking right now, she has been a voice for our Native people. And getting her goal of that was to have that support system for Native students, so that, and then she would go out in the communities, the tribes, and she would help people to know that it wasn't, that they could do this, they could go to college and get an advanced degree. So she and her her homies in the Native American, and she called it Bison, which was Bama Indigenous Student Organization Network. But that's the group, and they're still going strong now. They still reach out to her for advisement. So yeah, she's not speaking here, but she is a leader too for our Caddo people.
My name is Sue. I've been absent for a long time, but
So,
you all,
we can't hear you.
What?
I mean, the microphone's a little down. Just, oh, you got to hold it up. But you know what? It has been so long since I haven't seen you.
I was laughing.
And I was like,
can't recognize.
it's only been 40 years. It's good to see you. Sorry about that. Before you say something, I'd like to talk to a little bit. Hey, sister, you're my niece there. We was just talking on tribal council. There's actually an ambassadorship program. Caddo Nation has an ambassadorship program where people are doing things like you. I'd like to visit with you after this about that. So, and oh, by the way, you doing that? That's just your Caddo side. So, you know, that's just the way it is. All right, Sue, we're gonna turn it over to you.
Well, like I said, I've been absent for a long time, but you all have my attention. I want to know what's going on and learn and love the direction we're going. Thank you. Sorry.
Here. I haven't seen her in like for so long. You gotta see.
I said, thank you for they've got my attention. I love the direction we're going. I appreciate everything, and I'm gonna be here and learn and be with you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay.
I'm Christy Chandler. This is my auntie. And I am a member of the election board. And I just want to say that we have successfully executed 3 elections without issues. And I'm really proud of that. And we want to continue that kind of trajectory for our people. And so we look forward to meeting with you all. I didn't know if you had a date in mind about when we might be able to meet.
We'd like to do that this first quarter to set the budget up because 2025 would be here before you know it, right? And all the tools that you need and the help, whatever you guys need as far as our support as a government to make sure we have a, a fair and impartial election. Plus you need a budget and we need to put the new board members, in place too.
Yeah.
So the first quarter.
I think we need to have a discussion about where we left off and where we need to head. And then the second thing is I've described this over and over before because the higher education program paid for a part of my education as well. I have a master's degree in social work. I'm licensed. My expertise is domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. I offer my expertise for any policy writing. I will turn over the federal grants that I've successfully received. I got Canadian County $400,000 for domestic violence and sexual assault, and I run an agency in Canadian County. So if there are Caddo people who are enduring these abuses, please send them my way.
All right. Well, I'm abused every day. Can I sign up? I'm really glad you said that because that is a big need in Indian country, right? And we need to discuss that as far as like having a good, healthy program for, mental health, right? And domestic violence. It is alive and well. I think we probably all experienced that somewhere, maybe even in our own families. And that needs to stop, right? So I'd really like to talk to you about that program here and the funding. We just received $500,000 from the opioid case related to what happened with people taking these prescription drugs that's being over medicated. It was a case here in the United States. Our first cut was $500,000 to provide awareness related to helping people deal with opioid and their trouble and their addiction. So I really would like to talk to you about that because we need a lot of help in that area. Okay. I actually ran into somebody who was Caddo that had a mother and a father and a father and a mother were trying to protect their daughter. And if it wasn't for them at this right time and the local PD getting there, they believe that the young lady would have probably been murdered. So I really appreciate you being here. We'll talk, okay? All right, I have a couple of things that we have online. And one of them here is someone wanted to know where we're at with our constitutional reform as we move forward. There's a report that should have been provided to us on the 15th. We're asking Mr. Todd Goodman to provide that to us as well. And hopefully we'll have that report that we can share with the members as we move along to talk about what that might look like. Because, you know, this is about the community. This is about the people. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's about us all together. So when we get that, we'll share that with the members. And also, someone mentioned, why can't we buy the bowling alley or the movie theater in Anadarko? They have approached us about the theater in Anadarko. That needs a lot of work. It's around $250,000. That is an interesting piece of history in Anadarko. We've also been approached to buy the bowling alley in Anadarko. We've been approached to buy the marina at Fort Cobb, Oklahoma. We've been approached to look at buying the LLC or Red Rock Canyon. Right now, there's a lot of people getting a hold of us because they see the tribes, not just the Caddo, they see the other tribes doing a lot of different things. And that relates to the tribal government and the members going after the money that we need. So right now, I don't think that those two venues would be worth the money, but we are talking with everyone we can as far as like moving economically forward. There's also someone had mentioned, why don't we create a TARO department, which is a tribal employment rights office? We are working with Diane Kelly with the Cherokee Nation. She provided all the information related to how the Cherokee Nation set up their tribal employment rights office, which allows tribes members that work here have rights. It gives you a place to go, and it also allows tribally owned businesses to be created. And they have over 900 Native American businesses within the Cherokee TARO. We did not want to reinvent the wheel. We asked them to help us, and those are some of the things that's going to be in that resiliency plan as well. Someone asked about our tribal historic preservation officer. He has been here. I believe he was here at the last meeting, right? And if you don't know right now, the Caddo Nation is going to host a U.S. Forest Service to Bridge the Gap conference in Oklahoma City. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds of people there. There's going to be tribes from all over the nation, including Alaska and federal and state agencies, and we're helping host that with the U.S. Forest Service. That's going to be here around March or April sometime. Just be watching our website. And so that's going to be a really great thing. We need all kinds of volunteers. We need election volunteers to help these young ladies here. We need people to volunteer to maybe provide food, right? People, we just need a lot of different help. And it may be that whatever you might have before you even leave this building, you know, a suggestion or idea, come see us and we'll write it down, okay? Because if we don't know, we can't address it. I'm going to turn it over to the council. I know that they've been sitting here, and I'm just going to give the microphone because I think it's important because everyone spoke. Let me let you know what I was told, but in a positive way. There was over 100 people here not too long ago, and I always call her Eva Longoria, but she gets mad at me when I say that. Andrea, you remember when we had about 100 people here not too long ago? And you was in here, and there was a lot of us in here, and I passed the microphone around. I was told by members and maybe even some council members, are you crazy? Why would you do that? You hand the microphone to our people, and you know some of them. I do. Good, bad, indifferent, or ugly. We may not agree with each other, but we can agree to disagree, but we want to hear from you. And trust me, when I gave the microphone and we went around, I didn't realize what I did until after it was done. And I thought to myself, I am crazy. I can't believe I did that. but it worked. It absolutely worked. And we heard all kind of good stories. We had people that had concerns. We had people that had issues with departments or individuals. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. If you would not, if you don't say these things, how do we know to correct it? Right. And so I really appreciate all the feedback today. So, okay, you have to get the IHS and make sure those two young ladies right there can, get their help that they need.
Absolutely. For those who do not know me, my name is Kay O'Neill, and I am the Fort Cobb representative. And I appreciate it that I am allowed to be able to sit on this council and to be a part of the leadership for our people. Our heart is to do right by you and to lead us and the next generations and the generations that come. But it's not only about the next generation and the ones that come, it's about the people that are here right now and our elders that have gone before us. And I just appreciate all of you so very much. And I wanted to address this for Gail. Gail, thank you so much for being a part of my Fort Cobb area. You don't go unnoticed. We've heard you. I wanted to, before I address the IHS, and I will get to this, but I wanted to thank you for being the driving force behind us getting the newsletter going. You said in the very beginning, and we did hear you, don't get on the internet. I need something in paper and ink. Give me a newsletter. And that just started the ball rolling, and that gave us the need for the census, and we got the census out there, so we didn't break any privacy laws, that we were able to send those who want to be a part of it a newsletter. And I wanted to thank you for that. It's much appreciated. And as IHS, you have a voice on the IHS board. I will speak to them and let them know that there are issues with these clinics out here. I live in Fort Cobb. I've gone to the Carnegie Clinic. I've unfortunately, since then, I've switched clinics, and it shouldn't be so, but I will definitely address it. We meet the first Thursday of every month in Lawton, and your voice will be heard. And I'm going to pass it on. Thank you.
I'm gonna be talking to you. Thank you so much.
I'm Barney, and I'm treasurer. I work for housing, and if anyone needs some kind of assistance, we'll try to help. So I know a lot of people don't like to do the paperwork. And I know we helped Gail, and she was really nice. Yeah. So if you have any questions, just give me a call or email me, and I'll try to help.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Wilson, and I'm the Oklahoma City representative. And pertaining to the newsletter that's coming out, I understand. Well, I'll ask Kay. Will every tribal member get a newsletter?
I'm not clear on that yet, but I will get back to you.
Well, that's what I mean. I wondered because I don't know if, I know she's been sending out census, or trying to get everybody to fill out a census form. And so I wasn't sure if just the people who filled out the census form, are they the only ones that are going to get a newsletter, or are the 7,000 people? Well, I guess it wouldn't be but that many, but because it's, some are in a household. But I just wondered if who will get a newsletter?
So within the Caddo Nation, unfortunately, there's a form on our website. You can call enrollment, you can call the tribe. You absolutely have to inform us as a government that you want to receive information from the tribe, any information, including the newsletter, because we have members that receive information from the tribe that call, as well as email that they do not want to be sent anything. Do not contact me. Thank you very much. I don't need you to send me everything in the world, because sometimes they're inundated. So please let us know and sign up. Just because you signed up for the census does not necessarily mean you're going to get a newsletter. They have to provide us permission to send them that newsletter, because then we're infringing on their privacy, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you, because I'm sure the people who don't get a newsletter are going to say, well, why didn't I get a newsletter? I'm a member,
Right.
so.
Right. And it'll be online too, because it's going to be digitally online as well. You have to remember that.
That's right. The newsletter will be online for those who don't get a paper copy. Anyway, I'm glad I'm the Oklahoma City representative, and we had a meeting the other night, and I thought we had a good meeting. We had quite a few people there. We ate some good food, and it was just it was a good turnout and a good meeting, and I appreciate those people who come out, and I get feedback, and hopefully I can give you some information. So so proud to be a Caddo.
So with that said, seeing Jennifer Wilson as the Oklahoma City rep, before the Anadarko representatives speak, the tribal council, and we're actively looking for property in Oklahoma City, the Moore area, downtown, around all the new construction that's going on, right, related to the Scissortail Park and that whole area, and what the Chickasaw and other tribes are doing. We're looking for a place in the city so that we can have a satellite office, so that we can have programs or a service there for our members that live in that area. We have over 1,200 members that live in the Oklahoma City area. And so we're actively looking for a place. If you know of a building, if you know some realtor, if you know someone, let us know, because that's one of the things that we'd like to get accomplished, so that you can have a home and a place there in the city as well. All right, go ahead, Tracy.
My name is Tracy Martin, and I am the Anadarko District Representative. I'm very proud to sit on this council. We have done a lot. We've come a long way. Andrea, anyways, even though I represent the local area, even though I represent the Anadarko area, the district of Anadarko, I'm compassionate. I have a lot of compassion for all my people. If you have a hard time getting a hold of anybody else that sits up here, you can always get in touch with me, email me, call me if you have to. But I'm ready to help move us forward. And you're welcome, Andrea. I'll do my best.
Just remember too, those that have district representatives, let them know what your concerns are, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. Trust me, we've been in some heated conversations related to our districts and what our members are asking for, to where it's a good relationship, and we've been in some good dragouts. And so, but it helps us get, unravel things. All right. No, I'm not picking on you, Tracy. All right.
Hello, everybody. My name's Kelly Factor, and I'm the vice chairwoman of the tribe. And I want to reiterate what Tracy was saying. It's just really exciting to be a part of the council. Prior, I hadn't thought much into getting into the tribal politics because of all the turmoil, and I kind of felt like I didn't really want to be involved. But from my perspective, it just felt really frustrating for a while, for several years. Like I just felt like our tribe we were more stagnant, not moving forward, and I didn't want to just not like complain or anything, but I just, I felt like, well, I'm going to step up and I'll run and see if if I can help. So that was my motivation to run, is because I wanted to see our tribe move forward and to do more things, to be more active, to bring more programs. you see the other tribes doing all these things and getting recognition of the programs that they're able to have and provide for their citizens. So that's a big thing, that a goal that we've been doing as a council, working together. And I'm honestly really, really proud of Bobby. And I can say firsthand, he's doing a fantastic job. All the council members are really on the council for the right reasons. Every single one of us, we all really care. We all want to see the tribe do better, move forward, and just to be more positive. I feel like each of us are very approachable. Everybody here is personable. We don't have anything to hide. We're really here because we're here for the right reasons. My hometown is Anadarko. I grew up in Anadarko my entire life. My high school years, we lived in a Caddo home. I was just talking to Mr. Cotter about that just a little while ago before the meeting, that we lived right next door to each other out north of town. And he had asked me about that house that me and my mom and my brothers lived in. And I said, you know what, it's like falling apart. A lot of these Caddo homes have kind of deteriorated. And that's one of the things we were looking into also, like what can we do to help preserve some of these homes? What can we do to help Caddo, our citizens, to get into these homes? I mean, there's a lot of things, but we're open for ideas and we do listen, and if you notice, a lot of the things that have been brought up in the past since we've been on council, we address them and we really listen and we want to make a difference and we want to improve. And that's what we're striving for, to continue to improve. And I am really grateful and honored to be able to be a part of the council and to work for the Caddo Nation.
Am I good? Okay. You cut everyone else off. I want to make sure I did.
You notice he's the only guy. He asked if he was good. You're good. I'm not going to cut you off. I need your help.
I can talk. Okay. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Travis Thrillkild. I'm on the Binger representative for everybody, but also for those of you that don't know me, I may be tall and broad-shouldered, but I'm a very personable person. I tell everybody till I'm blue in the face, you don't have to be in my district to not be able to talk to me. We're all up here, all of our votes all come to one consensus at the end of the day. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I may not be the smartest person to answer some of the questions you might ask me, but I do know how to navigate and get those questions answered for you. That's part of my job of what I do in my personal life. I'm always having to navigate the questions to get the most accurate answers. And along the way, we both learn. So I'm going to pass it over to Jennifer because we got food getting cold over here. So
make it long. So Jennifer Reeder, Tribal Secretary. First off, I just want to thank everyone for being here and online and participating in your tribal government. We really do appreciate your comments, your input. As some of my fellow council members mentioned, we do talk about what we hear. We make notes. We raise a lot of your questions that we hear, like here and online, social media, or someone calls us. We do keep each other accountable. If it's something that's going on in the Anadarko area, then we reach out. We let each other know when we cover each other. Like you have a tribal member that has questions, in your district. And so we really do appreciate the input and the comments. And I did want to address just one thing. I've been seeing a little chatter about, it seems like maybe some tribal members are concerned about some of the businesses that we've recently acquired. I've heard things like they were failing businesses. And, I just want to let you know, rest assured, every business venture that we look into, we do have a team that, and maybe Bobby can speak more on that, but we don't just carelessly select businesses and take them on. We do have them evaluated. And that goes for any land that we acquire, and maybe Bobby can speak more on that and the lands that, and the things that we're trying to put in trust and just different things. We don't do that on our own. We do have teams that look into that, because who wants to buy a failing business? I mean, that comes right back on us. And then it, then it falls back on the tribe. It puts the tribe in a bad position. The reason we're trying to amp up on businesses is we do need money to provide for education, higher things that our grant funds won't cover. We do need that money with no ties to grants, that where we can help someone that, like the ambassadorship program that we've created, or something that someone may be like slightly over the guidelines for housing. We do want to be able to have that money generated from our tribal businesses to help people that, kind of fall in that gray area where they make maybe too much, to get a grant. So I'll just stop talking and see if he wants to elaborate.
Yeah, so I'm going to answer or chime into that, and just so that you know, so the food don't get cold, right? When I get done, I'm going to go ahead and pray for our food, and then we're going to eat together, and we're going to conclude our meeting. So you do not make dollars by adding, you make it by multiplying. You multiply your efforts through people. Okay. This store here at the Binger Y, that store, we put $82,000 in new dispensers of federal grant money. Since we did that and we hired people and we restocked the store, the last 12 months it did over $1,200,000 in sales. That's how we're going to use those dollars to offset costs related to here, right? To provide other services where you can't get those services. The store in Gracemont has, on an average, does over $30,000 a month, just so that you know. That is the only store in town. Now, the tribal government went after economic development fund grants to pay for that. It only cost us $152,000 for the building, for the whole thing. And it's making over $30,000 a month. It's been doing that for 5 months straight. McKee's Indian Store, if you look at the report, did over $202,000 in 5 months, right? With that said, $202,000 in 5 months, you may not think that's a whole lot of money, but we bought 7 buildings in downtown Anadarko from Judge Stevens and the Stevens family to provide government services, to remodel those buildings, to get our people up out of poverty, right? And say what you all just said. You want people to know who the Caddo people are, right? You want to know who the Caddo people are? We're a strong nation, and no one's going to push us around, and no one's going to tell us that we're failures, because we're not. We're going to do everything it takes because we believe in you, and we believe in our people, and we heard what they said, and we heard their prayers, right? So that store in Anadarko was done very, very well. We paid $500,000 of grant money for 7 buildings. The one store that's open has already brought in half the money we spent of government money to get them to begin with. At the end of the day, it's taxpayer dollars. So we're going to continue to go after those avenues where we have brokers, real estate people, bankers, grant people, everyone in the world, political people. We have a whole team that will tell us whether or not that's a viable business or an opportunity or not. And if it's not, we don't mess with it. Trust me, there's people that has duped the tribe, and there's people that continue to do that. We're not going to play that game, right? We're not going to deal with that. So we're doing real well. We still have a long ways to go. We're going to ask you to continue to support us. Remember, there's going to be an election in 2025. I encourage people to vote, people to run for office. If you don't like something that we're doing, if you don't like something I'm doing, please run. This is a democracy. This is fair, right? And we want to do things that's fair because we do have compassion. We do have love in our heart for our people. And if we're not doing something right, let us know. But now that I know that Shirley sent 500 people to my doorstep at my office, I know who to holler at. And I appreciate everyone being here and everyone being online. And we have an elder that has one more question.
I would like to, whoever is our grant writer, he or I don't think I would like to give a pat on the back, a accolade, whatever you say, to our grant writer.
I mean, that person must be something else. I mean, if he or she can write a grant good enough, to buy property in Gracemont, to buy property in Anadarko, you to finance a fire department that's going to get on its feet pretty soon, and get a economic development building and a health building in Anadarko. I think that person deserves a dinner myself. I think that we ought to cook for that person and give her or she or he, whoever it is, a great pat on the back. And that's it.
Wanted to say that, so.
And we have tribal member Andrea Longoria said, Harley, Buster is awesome. So if she's listening, thank you. So every grant dollar, so that you know, in the last 2.5 years since this council's been in power, has brought in over $100 million in grant dollars to this community. That is nothing to sneeze at. All the departments are working together to go after more dollars. So, but we have to hear from you, right? If we don't hear from you, we don't know that there's a need. So I'm going to pause. Is there anything else that the council would like to say? Well, it's a whole team of people in a company called Baker Tilly out of Houston that what they do is write grants for tribes across the country. But one of the amazing persons that we have is Polly Edwards too, because she's our grants and compliance officer. Right. All right. Do we have a chapter, a board? Somebody asked if we had a board for our Native American church. We actually do have a board. It's the Caddo Native American Church board. But they, it's church is a little bit different, right? Of course, tribal government, but the Native American Church chairman of that board was the late Lyman Canute, if you knew Lyman, and we never replaced him. And if you remember the late Button Williams, he nominated me for the vice chairman and seconded by Doyle Edge before they left. So we probably really need to get that back organized. So just so that you know, we'll have a Native American church meeting to talk about all that later. Okay. All right. All right. Gail, Francis, Shirley, and Verna, all our lady folks and our men. I just want to address each one of you, right? These two over here for helping us right here, Matt and his companion, Anthony, Gail, Francis, their daughter sitting here, Mike, Eric, Tristan, and I know who your father is now. I know where you come from. What's your name? Ellery, yeah, Ellery, Compton, huh? Yeah, Hoey. And then Andrea, and that's your granddaughter? And your granddaughter, Shirley, is it your birthday? Today? Today's your birthday? All right. And then Shirley, happy birthday. How old are you? Not Shirley. Shirley, I don't want to know how old you are. The little young lady, how old is she? Your granddaughter? Sage? Sage, Half Moon? Sage, huh? All right, and Shirley and my sister sitting there, and my other sister sitting there, my niece, and Sue. I haven't seen you for a long time. It's good to see you. It's like you vanished for forever. And I'm sorry I haven't really got to know you, but I look forward to working with you and getting to know you more. And your first name? Christy? Okay, Christy. Huh? What year was it? I wasn't born yet, so no, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm glad you're here.